welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Let's start with today's stories. Am I the idiot for confronting my ex-husband's new wife over her treatment of my daughter? I, 38, female, find myself in a complicated situation involving my ex-husband, 40, male, and his new wife, 35, female. We divorced 5 years ago, and while our marriage ended, our priority has always been our 10-year-old daughter, Lily. Initially, everything was smooth. My ex-husband and I shared custody of Lily, and we both made an effort to maintain a friendly co-parenting relationship. However, things took a turn for the worse when my ex-husband introduced Lily to his new girlfriend, now his wife, Sarah. At first, I was happy for my ex-husband to have found love again. But it didn't take long for me to notice that Sarah was treating Lily differently from her own children. She has 2 kids from a previous marriage, and while she's affectionate and kind to them, she often excludes Lily. Lily would come home after her weekends with her dad and Sarah, tearfully recounting incidents where she felt left out, ignored, or even bullied by Sarah's children. Lily's self-esteem took a hit, and she started acting out at home and at school. I tried to address this issue with my ex-husband, explaining how it was affecting Lily's emotional well-being. He assured me that he would talk to Sarah about it. However, nothing seemed to change. Sarah's behavior persisted, and Lily continued to suffer. Feeling helpless, I decided to take matters into my own hands. One day, after dropping Lily off at her dad's place, I asked to speak with Sarah privately. I calmly expressed my concerns and told her how Lily was feeling left out and hurt. I suggested that we could all sit down and discuss how to make this transition easier for Lily. Sarah, however, became defensive and accused me of meddling in her family. She even insinuated that I was trying to drive a wedge between her and my ex-husband. Our conversation quickly escalated into an argument, with neither of us willing to back down. After that confrontation, my ex-husband and I had a heated discussion. He accused me of causing problems in his new marriage and demanded that I stay out of his business. I argued that our daughter's well-being should be our top priority, and I couldn't ignore her pain. In the end, my ex-husband and I haven't spoken since that argument, and Lily's situation hasn't improved. I can't help but wonder if I should have handled things differently. Am I the idiot for confronting my ex-husband's new wife over her treatment of my daughter, even if it strained our co-parenting relationship and led to further tensions in their marriage? No, OP, you're not the idiot here. I'm sorry that your daughter is going through this, especially with people she should feel loved and safe with. With her dad's marriage, she should have gained a family, not feel like she's losing the one she already had. It is normal for the stepmother not to have the exact same feelings for your daughter that she has for her children, but to purposely exclude her stepdaughter and let her suffer bullying in her own home, it's too much. I don't know if she feels guilty or ashamed, or worse, if she simply doesn't care, for what has been happening to Lily, but the way she acted towards you is unnecessary. You guys are adults, there was no need for her to start an argument between you two. She probably knows she's wrong and did this to make it seem like you and Lily are the problem. The worst thing is your ex, who, instead of doing something and protect his kid, prefers to side with his new wife and her family. Take care of your daughter, OP, she needs you to look out for her best interests, as I don't know if her dad still has. Now let's read what people said in the comments. Not the idiot. Our daughter's well-being should be our top priority. Unfortunately, only one of you thinks this. Not the idiot. Stop sending her. She is old enough to tell a court how she feels and that she doesn't want to go there. If he wants to have a relationship with her, he can pick her up and take her out for dinner and a movie or activities and bring her home after. Not the idiot, but you need to record these events and take him to court for emotional abuse and neglect for your daughter. Not the idiot, standing up for your daughter is the right thing to do. I'd ask her what she wants to do regarding visiting, and be prepared for her to change her mind a couple of times. Just let her know that you support whatever decision she makes and that you will love her whatever so that she doesn't feel that seeing him would be betraying you. I have an evil stepmom. Please do all you can to protect your daughter. The abuse will have lasting effects. Not the idiot. Here is an easy solution. Go to family court, have her say what is happening and how she feels, get full custody. I know it won't be that easy, but input from the child will definitely help with a custody battle. Not the idiot. And what do you guys think? What would you do if you were OP? Would you do the same to defend your child? Or would you do something else? Don't forget to leave your comment down below. Oh, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for having a photo of my son's DNA test framed and hanging in the living room? I, male, 32, met my wife 3 years ago. We got married 9 months ago. We have a baby boy together that she got pregnant with while we were engaged. My wife used to be a sex worker. No judgment on that, please. She did what she had to do to survive. My parents were always being skeptical about her, and a lot of times asked if I want to settle down with her. When she got pregnant, they went nuts and demanded a DNA test. They refused to attend the wedding until the DNA test was done, which caused a huge problem. They ended up missing the wedding obviously. The test was done because my wife wanted to prove a point, and eventually my parents made amends and we reconciled. They started visiting, and yesterday noticed the photo of the DNA test that I hang in the living room. They asked about it, and I told them that it serves as a reminder for why they didn't attend my wedding. They were stunned and livid when I mentioned that I tell any guest the same thing I told them. Mom and Dad were mad and asked me repeatedly to take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past, as well as embarrassing them to the other family members. I refused to take it down, and I admit being sarcastic in my response, saying, "It goes with the house decor." They begged, then refused to come over anymore till I removed it. My brother thinks it's petty and childish, and said I should take it down. Alright, I'm editing some stuff in. First of all, my wife does not mind having the photo up, she laughs about it sometimes, but she's still carrying some hurt that was caused by what happened. And second of all, no, she no longer does sex work, it's all in the past. And did I mention that my brother and I aren't close? He's known as the crackhead in the family. So that's that. Well, I'll go with not the idiot. Your house, your rules, or better, your house, your choice of decor, lol. If it ends up being a reminder to your parents of the time they were a-holes to your wife, the mother of your child, that's a plus. I'd say you're the idiot if your wife was upset about it, but since she is okay with it, I think it's fine. But are you sure your wife has no problem with this? Because this is a constant reminder of her past, of your parents' suspicion of her character, and consequently of how they didn't think she was good enough for you and their family. But, I also kind of understand your parents' suspicion, knowing her past. Since you didn't say in the post how you met your wife, and maybe you didn't think it was necessary. But if you were one of her clients or if when you met her, she was still working, it can be a very important factor in understanding your parents' reaction to your relationship. Or when you two met, this was part of her very distant past. Maybe this doesn't matter to some, but does for others. So, if you guys met while she was working, I understand why they were apprehensive, but if this was something far from her past, they were being apprehensive, prejudiced and idiots. Also, think carefully if this is the hill you want to die on, because it could be a make or break situation. Don't think I'm defending them, because I'm not. But if you want to continue to have a relationship with your parents, maybe this is something you have to get rid of. Now let's go to the comments. How does your wife feel about her past being a continued topic for public conversation? That's really the only thing that matters. Edit, OP replied, his wife is on board with it although still hurt by his family's reactions. Not the idiot for having it where his parents can see it, but I feel like he should rethink his strategy going forward. There could be other ramifications as his child gets older. Also, why do his parents know what she did for work? My partner's parents have no clue. Why does he know? Edit, I am a part-time sex worker. I did full service for several years. I'm also autistic. I'm asking a question because I literally want the answers to that actual question. I don't need people to tell me what sex work is like. It's not relevant or helpful. Well, it's more about my parents' reaction to the news of her pregnancy than anything really. But my wife doesn't mind. Not the idiot, is it petty? Yes it is. Is it your right to be petty? Yes it is. In fact, maybe they should be gifted with their own framed copy. Every year. LOL. Not the idiot, it's my kind of petty. But take it down before your child is old enough to notice and ask questions. You're refusing to let go of the past. A bit rich coming from the parents who demanded a DNA test because they couldn't let go of your wife's past. Not the idiot. Take it down, saying I'm being too harsh on them and refusing to let go of the past. Funny how that only works when it's in favor of them, but not when they were asked to let go of the fact that your wife did what she had to survive. Not the idiot. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And what do you guys think of this situation? What suggestions would you give OP? I would like to know. Now let's go to the last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to take a DNA test to confirm my fiancé and I are not related because I'm uncomfortable sharing my DNA with big business? So my 27 male fiancé, 26 female, is adopted. She was adopted at birth and hasn't had any contact with her birth family. She read an article a few months ago about a married couple who were both adopted and found out they were biological siblings 6 years into their marriage. Now, she's worried that might be us, even though I was not adopted. I've explained to her over and over again that my parents have been faithful to each other, so there is no way we are siblings. She still wants us to get tested in case there is an uncle or other relative of mine that slept around. She knows her birth mother was a sex worker and our families lived in the same major city. I think she's being ridiculous. I don't want to waste $200 on us getting tested. I don't want to have my DNA sitting in some database where it can be hacked into. I also don't want my data sitting on a website where anyone, connected to my tree, can find me. It weirds me out. I told her I wasn't comfortable with her getting tested either because who knows what skeletons her biological family has in the closet. I don't want her to find out she's related to bad people and then be upset. I also don't want half of my future kids' genetic makeup sitting in some confidential corporate database. I told her all of this, but she still brings it up. I may have crossed a line today when I told her she was being disrespectful of my family by indicating one of them may have abandoned their child. She started crying and left. She's not answering any of my phone calls or texts, and her sister is calling me an a-hole for saying mean things about her biological family. As far as I'm concerned, they abandoned her, so they are dead to me and I don't owe them any respect. On the other hand, they are genetically related to her, so maybe by proxy, I'm calling her a deadbeat too? I still don't want either of us to do the test, but I have a feeling this isn't going to blow over. So, am I the idiot if I continue standing firm and refuse to get tested? You're acting like an idiot OP, you are downplaying your fiancé's fears and doubts, and therefore her feelings. Just be a little more supportive and try to find a better solution. Like go to your doctor or private clinic, get tested and free your fiancés of these doubts. This seems very important to her, you should do it. Oh, and just because her biological family might be dead to you, she might not feel the same way about them. So please, apologize and do better. Now let's go to the comments. Question: is she looking for an answer of you two not being related, or is she wanting answers on who she is related to, her bio parents? These two things are vastly different. I think it's a bit of both. She never really brought up the adoption thing before she found the article though. I knew she was adopted, she just didn't talk about it much. I think it's more about not doing it alone. She said a few times that she's curious about if she has other siblings that were adopted into different families, but anytime she brings up anything about adoption to her adoptive parents they get uncomfortable and change the subject. You are the idiot. Dude, you could just go to your medical provider, explain the situation and have them run a comparison. It's really not rocket science and the results don't need to be stored or skeletons unearthed, but it is an easy way to get the answer your future wife is after and settle her mind. As to the reasoning for the doc, we are thinking of having children and there is valid concern that we are related. Please have our DNA compared. I didn't realize this was an option, but it sounds like a good compromise if it isn't too expensive. I'll look into it. You are the idiot. I was going to go with no idiots until I read your last stanza. That is plain mean, man. You are insulting her birth parents, while even she doesn't know much about them. Her concerns are also more severe than yours. How could she be feeling safe and happy with you with questions like that lurking in her head? This will definitely not blow over. You'd be wiser to give in. I decided he was the a-hole when he said he doesn't want her to take a DNA test. He's allowed to be private about his own DNA, and he has to respect her choice to share her DNA and find her birth family. He's decided for her that finding her birth family is pointless. Jesus OP. I don't think you could have handled this any worse. You threw all her fears back in her face. You've made no effort to ease her anxiety. You've basically called out her ancestry as low. You threw your own prejudices back at her. That's disgusting, by the way. You are the idiot. Yikes. You are the idiot, not because you don't want to get tested, but because you've said she shouldn't and pretty much everything else that came out of your mouth in the process of saying it. So what would you guys do if you were OP? Would you do the DNA test? Or do you also have the same concerns as OP? Leave your comments down below. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.